What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode. This week, we are talking about the ketogenic diet, and I'm going to shed some light, and some of the information that I'm about to get into is going to shock some of you guys, because everywhere you go these days, you hear ketogenic this, ketogenic that. It's all over the news. It's all over your Instagram and your Facebook feeds. It's all over the magazines. You can't even go to the grocery store and get your groceries at the checkout counter without seeing all the magazines talking about the keto craze that we have going on. So I wanted to make this video today because it's a very hot topic, and this video is definitely going to get a lot of attention because there are so many people out there putting out misinformation, trying to jump on the keto bandwagon and make money while they can, when in reality what they're really doing is they're scamming you. They're taking money out of your pockets. They're giving you a false sense of hope. And I'm going to end that today and give you guys the truth about the ketogenic diet, what most people won't tell you, and how you can set yourself up for success if you choose to go down the ketogenic diet road. No, you're going to find out how long it's going to take you to lose the weight you want to lose, and then what to do after the ketogenic diet is over with. So with that being said, let's get into it. Today, the first topic that we're going to talk about is, what is keto? What exactly does keto mean? Well, ketogenic diet refers to a phase that your body's in, a state that your body's in when glucose, carbohydrates are depleted from the muscle cells and from the livers as well. We do hold some of our glycogen in our liver, and so many people think that within just a couple of days you can go into ketosis. If you've been eating carbs, your whole life, you can just stop carbs and go right into ketosis within a couple of days, and that's not necessarily the case. It actually takes between 7 and 10 days to not only deplete muscle glycogen but also liver glycogen, and you're not truly in ketosis until you deplete liver glycogen. You can be flat, your workouts can be, you might be weak in the gym, your muscles are flat because there's no carbs in the muscles, but you haven't depleted liver glycogen. You may feel weak, you may feel tired and exhausted, kind of like you would in the beginning stages of the ketogenic diet, but you're not in keto yet, and that is the key. So what exactly happens when your body goes into ketosis? Basically, your body realizes that it no longer has glycogen in the muscles, and it no longer has glycogen in the liver. So glycogen, or glucose, which is sugar, which your body's form of sugar, that's the easiest source of energy for your body. Once it realizes that it's out, it has to switch its fuel source, or else it will die. And luckily for us, our bodies are very intuitive. Our bodies are always one step ahead. So our body then starts to make ketones in the liver by breaking down fatty acids. So we have a fat intake, and as it's processing through our bodies, the liver will convert fatty acids into ketones, which is now the body's new source of fuel. And ketones are easily available and used for the brain, for like your cognitive thinking. It's used for your day-to-day activities. You actually have a lot more mental clarity once you go into ketosis, versus the few days that you're kind of in that transition phase. It can be really rough. Typically your blood sugar is actually very stable. It does not go up and down compared to somebody who may have a carb diet. I've heard before that people thought if they went into a ketogenic diet that their blood sugar would drop and it would just kind of be this downward spiral, and that's not the case. It has no reason to drop because it had no reason to go up in the first place. So when you go into a ketogenic diet, it's actually very healthy for you as far as your blood sugar goes. It gives your pancreas a break from secreting insulin all the time, and a ketogenic diet is actually really healthy for people who may be pre-diabetic. It helps, again, it just helps keep their blood sugar at a lower, healthier level rather than these ups and downs, these peaks and valleys that you may experience when you're having carbs. So once the body transitions over into ketosis and it starts using ketones as energy, that's going to be something that you are actually going to physically feel It's going to happen within a matter of 30 minutes. You're actually going to know, unless it happens when you're sleeping, but most of the time, if you're awake, you can feel it. You know exactly what's going on, and it's kind of a weird feeling. I've experienced it. I've actually seen people experience. My wife did keto a couple of years ago, and it's almost like you have a checklist and you start checking things off in 30 minutes, and you realize that, hey, you're in ketosis. It's kind of cool. What basically happens is when you start to get really, really low glycogen storage, liver glycogen becomes very low, you really start to have trouble thinking. You're in a brain fog. You don't feel very good. You have a massive headache for a couple of hours. You feel very weak, and you just really don't want to do anything but lay down. And that's very common. But the best thing to do at that point is actually to get yourself up, get to the gym, go do a hard workout. You don't have to lift super heavy, but you just want to get the body moving, because what you're trying to do is you're just speeding up the process of getting yourself into the ketogenic state. So for example, if I have a client who's about to go into ketosis, it's been about 5 to 7 days, we think we're getting close, I'll have them go to the gym, I'll have them do a light workout, but I'll have them do a lot of reps, truly try to burn a lot of glycogen, and then maybe do some HIIT training afterwards. And usually they feel like they're about to die if they're truly going into ketosis. Once their body switches over to using ketones, it's almost like they just got a shot of caffeine and they got carbs in their system, which they never did. But they will feel alive, they'll wake up, their brain starts thinking clearly, their headache goes away, they feel just a rush of energy because their body has finally depleted its old fuel source and is starting to use a new fuel source. And so that's a trick you can use if you're doing the ketogenic diet correctly, how you can speed up the process of getting in keto, kind of pushing through that phase that's going to suck, and it's going to feel it's just going to feel awful the first few days when you're not having carbs, and it'll help, but doing that trick's going to help push you into the ketosis faster, and it's going to get you past the phase that's not very fun. Once you're in ketosis, things usually level out, and you're pretty even keel for the most part. So here's the thing when it comes to the ketogenic diet. All these companies out there are trying to promote these keto snacks, these keto foods, keto water, like I've talked about before, which is absolutely ridiculous. And if you look at the label of these supplements, these snacks, these foods, whatever, they have carbs in them. If it has carbs, it is not ketogenic. That is a fact. You cannot have carbs on a ketogenic diet. And I'm going to say that again. You cannot have carbs on a ketogenic diet. If you have carbs on a ketogenic diet, you're going to be kicked out of ketosis. You can't do keto all day, train on no carbs, take in a post-workout carb meal, thinking you're going to restore glycogen, but you're still going to stay in ketosis. It doesn't work like that. If you take in carbs, you're kicked out of ketosis. So the only carbs that you need in your body is very, very low amounts of trace carbs, only from green vegetables, and that's to aid in digestion. Because when people switch over to a ketogenic diet, typically it really takes a toll on the digestive system. I've seen it happen to tons and tons of people over the last few years. And it is very important to keep in the green vegetables. For one, it's fibrous carbs, so it's not going to make a big difference. It's going to keep things moving through your body. It's going to keep it's vegetables. It's healthy for you. There's lots of antioxidants. It's going to reduce inflammation. And so the only carbs that you can have on a ketogenic diet, if you're doing it correctly, is through trace carbs, through green veggies, and that is it. And it's not all you can eat veggies either. I mean, you can't be taking in 60 grams of carbs through broccoli every day. Because you're just not going to be in ketosis doing that. I mean, I'm talking a very low amount of carbs. So if you see anything at the store that's packaged keto, it's labeled keto, honestly, just stay away from it. It's not keto. I can almost guarantee it's not keto. And when in doubt, look at the back. If there is even 1 gram of sugar, 1 gram of carb, don't touch it. I mean, the ketogenic diet's very simple to follow. But it's people these days are trying to make a quick buck on this keto craze, this keto bandwagon thing, and it's really doing, it's just causing a lot of confusion, and that's why I'm stopping it now. So how do you set up the ketogenic diet? What are the ratios of protein, fats, and carbs that you need? This is something 99% of people don't understand. They don't get it because there's a million diet coaches, there's a million people, there's a million companies putting out that you can do keto and do all these different things. And honestly, most of all that is false. There's been countless studies done with these numbers, and every single study was proven to put people in ketosis the most efficient way, and it was the easiest to stay on track with a ketogenic diet and not get kicked out of ketosis. So when it comes down to your macros, let's say you have your total caloric intake for the day. So 75% of your total caloric intake needs to be from fats. Now the fats can be anything from your polyunsaturated fats to saturated fats to monounsaturated fats to your omega fats. So you really kind of want to have a good blend of all of those. Even saturated fats, they say, are bad for you. Well, they're really not that bad for you. It's all in quantity. You don't want to do too much. It's all in portion control. So by saying you can have saturated fats doesn't mean to go out and get the biggest, nastiest cheeseburger with no bun that you possibly can find. Where that is kind of along the trend of a keto diet. You just don't want to do that because it's not the best for your cholesterol. When people say that they have high cholesterol during a ketogenic diet, it's probably because they're not taking in the right amount of fats, the right types of fats as well. So you want to have a good blend of omega fats, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and then saturated fats. So 75% of your caloric intake needs to be a well-rounded amount from those different types of fats. Now, this one is what most people get wrong, and that is your protein. You actually only need about 20% protein. You don't want to be taking in too much protein because it could trigger what's called gluconeogenesis, and I'm going to get into that here in a second. But we're going to go into the carbs, and as you guys can already tell, if we have 75% fats, 20% 20% protein, then we only need 5% carbs to make it 100% of your total daily caloric intake. So that, like I said earlier, is going to be from the greens. You want to take in 5% of your calories through green vegetables. Those are going to be your carbohydrates from the day. So there is no direct carb source there. So 5% of your caloric intake is going to be carbs, and it's going to be only from green vegetables. Now we're going to get into what I said earlier, which is gluconeogenesis. And this is a very interesting thing that our bodies do. Basically, it's a way that our bodies can turn a substance that we put in our bodies that has no carbohydrate properties to it and actually convert it into carbs. It's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it, that if we are eating true ketogenic foods, we're not taking in carbs, we're eating higher fats, moderate protein, and we go drink or eat something that has no carbs on the label, our body can potentially actually convert that into glucose in our system through the process of gluconeogenesis. Basically, this happens when the body is extremely depleted. It's in a starvation mode. It's been on keto for far too long. I've seen people that have done ketogenic diets without cheat meals, okay? Let's just say you started keto today and you went for 6 to 10 months with not a single cheat meal. I can promise you what's going to happen is your body's not going to starve, but you are going to slowly start taking yourself out of ketosis because the body, let's face it, the body is going to want carbs sooner or later, whether you give in and have a cheat meal or you try to stay strong. The body's going to eventually start converting things like proteins and BCAAs, even alcohol, into carbohydrates. Now that's a big thing that people don't understand. They think that if they're on a diet, or they think that if they are on keto, that they can drink the clear liquors like vodkas and I don't even know, whatever else clear liquor there is. But the liquors that are essentially zero carbs, right? Well, the thing is your body will take that, because alcohol is really useless to the body. It's not going to do anything beneficial for it. So what it's going to do is it's actually going to go through the process of gluconeogenesis and convert some of that into glucose. So you may be on a ketogenic diet and go out to the club or the bar on the weekends and drink clear liquor and think that you're still in ketosis. Most likely you're not. Your body's smarter than that. It's going to convert some of that into glucose. Now, I don't know how much it's going to convert. I'm not really familiar with like the formula of how much the substance that you're taking in will equal how much glucose is in the body. But it can possibly convert some of that. So that's something you may want to think about when you're on ketosis and you want to go get a drink. You probably need to know that the chance it may kick you out of ketosis. Also BCAAs, and I've seen this a lot with competitors. If I put a competitor on a ketogenic diet towards the end of their prep, most of the time I see this with bikini girls and figure girls, is that their bodies are so depleted, they're training so hard that we have their meals set all day, every day. They're in a true ketogenic diet, and they're probably in ketosis, but they're drinking BCAAs around the clock because, number one, they taste good, they taste sweet, they have the artificial sweeteners. It triggers the brain, thinks that we're getting sugar, and it gives us those good feelings we have when we have a sugary drink. The nice taste is also a good break from the diet. But what happens is the body can take those BCAAs through gluconeogenesis and actually convert them into carbs. I've seen this many times where I've had a client, they're trying to lose weight, they're trying to get ready for a show or whatever it may be, and they're just not losing weight, but they're in ketosis, and I know they're following their diet. So what I have them do is I have them go through a full meal plan, write down everything that they eat or drink during the day, and whenever I realize what they're doing is it's easy to fix. They're basically drinking BCAAs all day. I'll have them cut the BCAAs out completely, and their weight will start dropping because their bodies are not converting the BCAAs to glucose as easy. So that's something you need to watch out for if you're doing keto. If you're thinking about doing keto, is you may want to limit your BCAA intake or your protein intake. Very fast digesting protein isolates can also be turned into glycogen or glucose as well. But anyways, that is the ketogenic diet. That is the in and outs of the ketogenic diet. We covered everything from what is keto, what are ketones, what do they do for the body, how to set up your ketogenic diet, what are the proper ratios of protein, carbs, and fats that you need, why it works, and why these magazines, TV commercials, supplements, keto products don't work, what to look out for, and then what to do and what not to do when you're trying to do keto. And then, of course, we discussed what you're going to feel like on keto. How do you get into ketosis? How do you speed up the process? We covered all of that, guys. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all of the support. Please look down below this video, see the thumbs up, give that up. Just hit the thumbs up for me. It really helps promote my channel. Comment below. Let me know some topics you'd like to hear about. If you have questions, please let me know. Also, in the description below, you can find links to download my app. It's a free app. We are blowing up worldwide. And then, of course, if you want your gym on the app to be advertised so people can come in and see what your gym is all about, let us know. We'll be happy to talk with you or talk to the owner of the gym. We're trying to get more gyms on the app so we can advertise for you guys. And then, as always, you can get free shipping through the app on supplements for life. And then on orders over $150, you get free apparel, which is pretty cool. Obviously, all of that is a big thanks to First Form for working with us and allowing all of our customers, all of you guys, the best supplements in the industry. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps you out with all of the keto questions, all of the keto topics we have going on today. And good luck with your diet, your training, and nutrition. Always feel free to reach out to me for anything you need, and have a great day.